Today's video is a 2-in-1 with a highly requested detail on how I do C parts, and I'll also be sharing with you my products, tools, and techniques for these vibrant soft locks that I completed in under 3 hours. Welcome to Braid School, you guys. Grab your notes and let's get started. Welcome back to the show, my baby girl Brianna, one of our favorite models. I also get a lot of questions about what I wear on my arm. Many of you already know I have very sensitive skin that reacts to extended use of the products over time, so I use these Ace bandages I order from Amazon. They come in a multitude of colors, super affordable, and last me a really long time. This is the most helpful solution I have found to protect my skin, so I'll be sure to leave a link to where you can find them below. First, we're going to start with the method to my madness of C parts. I call them C parts, others may call them free parting. Either way, in my opinion, these are the most natural looking parts because they fall in the natural shape of the head and they flow with the natural hair pattern. It's also easier to do on yourself because you don't have to be highly concerned with the symmetry. Now, there are two ways to achieve this. The way I'm showing you here is the diagonal pattern. I've parted her hair into 4 quadrants. For each quadrant, I'm going to start my arches at the outside corner and work my way upwards towards the middle of the head. If you remember from the parting one-on-one video, I mentioned it's beneficial to work from the middle and work your way outward. But in my experience, that works best for squares and triangles. C parts and diamond parts lay better when you work from the outside inward, because you're working on a primarily diagonal pattern as opposed to a horizontal pattern. The ultimate goal is just like bricklayer. You essentially want the parts you create to allow the braid to fall between the braids below it. But instead of boxes, you're creating arches. Now, as for tools, I typically use my metal duckbill clips for this. The short length of them allow me to move quickly, and the curve helps me keep my arches rounded. If you don't have these on hand, you will also see me switch to the carbon rat tail comb. This works just as well and better for thicker parts of the hair. Essentially, I'm prepping her hair for the installation of her soft locks by 3-strand braiding a couple of inches, then twisting down to the ends. This part takes me typically 45 minutes to an hour. This soft lock installation will actually be her second set. She tried soft locks for the first time. She wore them for 3 months. When I asked her what she wanted to do next, she said, "I think this is now my signature look." And she wanted to do it again. So of course I didn't complain because her locks were super cute for all of the 3 months, very low maintenance, and looked more real as they got older. However, I do advise if you don't plan to lock your hair permanently, don't wear them for longer than 3 months. Take them down, wash your hair, and let it breathe for a bit. I ended up doing her foundation first, then came back and installed her locks a few days later. This allowed her strands and her follicles to get a little bit of air. So this is what one of the front quadrants looks like as I reach the middle. I'm going to repeat the same steps on all 4 quadrants and then come back to you guys later. Now, doing your C parts diagonally is not the end all be all. Remember, I mentioned there's other ways to do it. You can do it horizontally from side to side and achieve the exact same results. Just make sure it's just like bricklay. Make sure that that braid above is falling below the other ones. For her locks, we had to get creative with the brands. I only used a pack and a half of these Free Twist Hippie locks, and for her signature purple, I used 1 pack of the Bobbi Boss New Locks. To wrap her locks, I'll only be using 1 pack of the Expressions Twisted Up Afro Kinky Hair. Since her hair is long, I'm going to be using the fold over method to install each of her locks. I really like this method, especially for long, thick hair. It allows me to get an even look and appearance on the lock, especially at the base of it. It also helps me conceal the natural hair better without having to wrap it all the way down, especially because we don't want that color covered in the back. And it also allows me to extend the length if I need to adjust the length as I move upward. This really is a show and tell moment, so I'm going to demonstrate this several times so you can get the gist of what I'm doing here. So like I said earlier, I installed her locks a few days after I did her base, and this part only took me about an hour and a half. Typically, it usually only takes me an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on how thick the hair is. But it's super fast, super quick. I'm going to spray her down with this mousse so we can soften up her locks. And since we didn't use glue to secure the wrapping hair, this is also going to help set it in place to keep it from unraveling. I'm also going to give her a nice good coat of this growth oil to help seal in moisture and moisturize her scalp. And that completes the video, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this. If you learned something, as always, make sure you thumbs up this video and leave a comment below. Let us know how you guys are doing. How is your 2020 closing out this year? What plans do you have for the holidays? We're just going to be spending quality time with our family this year indoors. So again, I appreciate all of you so much for coming through. I hope you guys have a blessed and safe holiday, and we will catch you in the next video. Bye.